Let's take another image and walk through the processing. This is one that just needs a few things done to it, and I'm going to bring it back into Photoshop again. I love wood grains. I just enjoy old cabins and old wood bridges and things. And I love this shot. It's got a lot of texture. It's got the potential to have wonderful color. It's a little bit blown out. The exposure's okay, but let's go back into levels again. And let's just take a look and see what the levels dialog box looks like. Well, according to the levels dialog box, we're good on the black end, the dark end, and on the white or the light end. However, I think we can increase the saturation and the sharpness and the detail a little bit by simply bringing the mid-tone slider over just about that much. I do almost all of my processing by eyeball. I looked before, that was what I thought a little washed out looking. That's got a little more detail, especially in the lighter areas around these parts of these boards. So I'm okay with that. So I'm going to save that. Now, the other thing is, I would like to add just a little bit of saturation. Now, there's two ways you can do that. You can saturate individual colors that you see in the photograph, or you can just do general saturation. Let's start by trying to do a little general saturation and see what happens, see what it does for us. I simply am going to move the saturation slider over to about 10. Here is after I slid the slider over. That's before. After. That is really subtle, but there is a little more warmth. There's a little more overall color in there. So I'm going to go with that. Just for anyone who wonders, for those of us that were film shooters and shot vedio, which was the principal film for nature and outdoor and travel people forever, vedio was about 10 points of saturation deeper than other films or other more neutral films. Having done that, now we didn't do this on the last photograph. I didn't sharpen it, but I'm going to sharpen this one because there's a lot more gritty detail in here, and I really want that to stand out. That's one of the reasons for making this kind of a photograph. And I'm going to go about 90. Check it to make sure it doesn't halo very badly. And I've got the radius at 1 and the threshold at 4. I took these settings right out of Scott Kelby's book on Photoshop CS5, and I found they work great, and his suggestions are a good place to start. That looks pretty close to me. I'm pretty happy with that. So, once again, I'm simply going to save as. Remember, I have the original file somewhere else. I'm going to call this Wood. I've got 1,000 photographs named Wood, but since I'm putting this in the folder that says Pics for Processing, it'll be the only photograph in there that says Wood. Now, I do JPEGs because I put stuff on a website and a blog, and I put them in programs like Keynote to do presentations. And JPEG just works better. It's easier to use. If I was going to save this photograph as in a file somewhere of master photographs of my very favorites or the ones that I want to go back to and do things again with them, I would probably make a TIFF file and then salt it away in a special folder that says master photographs, which I have a master photograph catalog. This, honestly, I don't know is great enough to make that folder.